is here on the Revolution in the Morning show. Hope y'all are doing well. God bless you. Hey, we're across the board on streaming this morning, by the way. We even got the Facebook account cranked up there because, well, I think at one time, yeah. Well, I just wanted to tell everybody that I'm hoping that I keep electric, okay? That's one reason why I come on a minute early. I can hear the rumbling right now, the thunder from this weather front that's blasting through. I mean, it's like 80 degrees out there this morning already. I mean, I could have walked outside in a t-shirt and wouldn't have bothered me at all this morning. I mean, it was just so warm and humid. So, and where we're at, we're kind of in a Virginia tornado alley. Yeah. In fact, I'm not going to lie. Since I've moved here to Virginia, okay. Let's see. Sharon and I drove through a tornado. Drove through it, I'm pretty sure. Really right beside of it. I mean, the car couldn't even hardly keep the car on the road. It was going in Arkansas. Yeah. Back in the 90s. I mean, it was some serious shit. And then I saw the end of a tornado, a little tornado in Roanoke, where I just saw the remnants of it go and then dissipate into nothing. It ripped a couple roofs off over across town, and then right near our house, kind of in the zone where we live now, there is, how should we say it? There was an F2. I think that's the only F2 that I know of in Virginia. Was right up the road here, just a few miles, right near our other house where there was another tornado a few years ago. I'm on the kind of the other side of the brick house on the phone, calling the news station. Said, "Man, you should check your radar. It's roaring down here in Sidnersville, Virginia." There's lots of shit going down, man. I'm telling you. So if I all of a sudden lose power, okay, if I lose power, oh God, let me plug these in. I guess I should have plugged it in earlier, but I do have a pretty good, I'll try to connect, I'll reconnect, and on Rumble at least, on my other devices, okay? I don't know if they'll have cell phone service around because this is supposed to have 70-mile-an-hour winds. They've already canceled school in North Carolina and in Virginia in many places. Here in Franklin County they have. Henry County too, I believe. But this is supposed to be just some serious storm coming through here this morning. So that's, I mean, like I said, I hear it rumbling outside right now. All right. We had thunderstorms the other day, and the next day we had thunder snow. Yeah, I mean, that's some serious shit. I love that. You ever have it in the middle? It's just a burst of snow, and you can hear the booming in the sky. It's crazy stuff, man. But it can kill you. You know, I'm just saying, beware and be careful because trees can fall on you. I mean, it can blow you over and you can knock your skull a hole in your head. You can call somebody else to do something that hurts you. And electrical lines, don't fuck with them. That's what I would tell. That's what my advice would be. But yeah, if something happens, help your neighbors. Hey, good morning, Rev Radio. Sorry for the delay. I'm excited. I'm concerned about this storm we have moving through here, and I was motor mouthing about it over on rumble.com. We're on revolution.radio. Come on over there and check it out. Also, we're streaming live on rumble.com, YouTube, and Facebook, along with locals.com. So any one of those places you can go and catch this show. You could probably catch a video of it later. If you want to see a repeat or if you're busy and you say, "What the hell was that idiot talking about?" God, I wish I didn't have to talk about it so much, because I'd have a lot, quieter life if we didn't have retards running our government. And then remember humanity. Remember what humans are. Humans are programmable. That's the first key indication. Programmable biological entities. Okay? So, yeah. Here the rain's starting to... it's starting to hit outside. So, I wish I had... should have been out there in the camper. Shooting through a couple of those windows. If something happens, that's what I'll do. And if I have to go on backup and just, and I'll get knocked off of here, and I'll have to pull it up probably on my tablet, which I hope is mostly charged in the other room. But, yeah. So anyway, everything is a big storm today, okay? Donald Trump over the weekend was bombing Karj Island or Harj Island, it's called. Right there, Iran's oil facility. Not just oil facility, but a place where they launch a lot of drones at ships that are now, burning in the... burning in the Straits of Hormuz. So anyway... yeah, big storm, man. So Donald Trump is trying to have a coalition of the stupid to keep the Straits of Hormuz open. So yeah, that's one of the things that is going down. Okay, that the price of oil is jacking up, and now. Iran using its only card it has to play is to stop the traffic through the Hormuz Straits. Okay, let's be honest. That's the only leverage that that they can put anywhere. Is what I would say. Okay. Anyway. So Iran has said that if you pay in yuan, you can pass through the straits. Okay, if you're not American or NATO or Western attached, attached to the hip, yeah, you can pay. You're not using U.S. dollars, using yuan. And, now, meanwhile, Donald Trump has told China, look, we're going to have this coalition of the willing, coalition of the bribed, coalition of the fucking pencil whipped and let's just say weak leadership in countries that don't know if they just stand up to the United States, Trump will capitulate. Okay? Because the truth is, he has very little leverage around the world. So, Donald Trump has told China that, hey, if you don't join this thing and help us get all the oil going through it for everybody, we're going to have some problems. And we're going to cancel or delay that trade summit or whatever that we were going to have. So Trump's already thrown that on the table. Okay. Now, don't forget that a Marine Expeditionary Force out of Japan or Okinawa, I'm not sure where they're stationed, has left and is headed towards the Middle East. Now, tactically, we have to have that. Tactically, we have to put boots on the ground in Iraq. Okay? You may not understand, you should understand why. Okay? Because Shia Muslims in Iran and Iraq are brothers. Okay? And in fact, whether it's in the United States or whether it's in Europe, what the governments are finding out that Muslims won't fight for the governments of Europe or the United States, but they will fight for their Muslim brothers. Okay. Anyway, that said, I mean, it's alleged that the aircraft that was shot down, there was one air tanker shot down. Now, there's also, listen, we lost 6 or 8 air tankers. Okay, half a dozen of them were on the ground and were damaged. Okay, now it's alleged that there was an incident where one was shot down, and then there's supposed to be an incident that there was where the U.S. had a well, I don't want to call it friendly fire, where they had an aircraft collision in midair. Okay. If that's a refueler, that's dangerous stuff, right? They get up real close. But you can't trust any of it. I think you can trust that the tankers on the ground were blown up by a drone or damaged by drones. Okay. Now, when it comes to what really happened in the air over there, we don't know. Of course, the Iranians pulling the wreckage of the cruise missile motor and engine and everything else, proving that it was a U.S. Cruise missile that hit that school. Which, it's horrible. And it sucks because all the fog of war. But I'd question, first thing, I would have to go back and look and see if the targeting data that we got from Israel. Do you think that the United States of America developed all that targeting data for Iran on its own? We know it did. So anyway, big ass stupid shitstorm. All right. Gas prices now up to around this zone. I saw a $3.14, $3.17 a gallon the other day for regular. It had been down to about $2.55 to $2.65 generally. Donald Trump claims that this is just temporary, but like everything else, it's temporary is never temporary with government. All right. Of course, the White House is denying that they used Tucker Carlson as a spy. That they basically they kept track of Tucker Carlson, all his phone calls, everything. Which, listen, if you don't understand that you're a pain in the ass to the government. They got a file on you thicker than terabytes, okay? They will data mine everything you say, everything you do, everything on everything. There is no digital security. If you believe that there is digital security once you're attached to the internet, you would be wrong. I don't even think there's a digital security if you're not attached to the internet, in all honesty, okay? I just believe that if somebody wants to get into your personal digital data, they will. It's no doubt about it. And they keep it and they use it. They keep a file. okay? They keep files on every fucking person, and whenever a cop pulls it up in his fucking car, he's looking at your your driver's license, your criminal record, hell, even your fucking bank accounts and your friends and associates and everybody else today. So yeah, it's I don't know. I'm trying to listen because listen, if you ever been in a tornado or near a tornado, it is like a fucking freight train roaring. Okay, it is something that I have heard too many times in my life. In all honesty, nearby, close. Now I'm not a monsters, not these monsters that they show on TV. I've never been near something like that. But I drove by the edge of it, I guess is what I would say. I don't know how we drove through it in the dark in Arizona, in Arkansas, in the middle of the night. Okay, all I can tell you is we were the only person on the highway. And when we came back from Texas with Aunt Lee, where we drove through right on the highway, the tornado came up along the highway and then crossed the highway and then went up along it. And I mean, we were trying to blast through that area, and in the car. I know I'm sidetracking, but the car was fucking shaking like this. And you 30, 45 miles an hour, we couldn't hardly, Sharon was driving, it was late at night, she couldn't hardly hold it on the road. 17 people died that night. We drove right through it to Texas. It's like, man, we got up and found out that the storms had hit, and we drove right through them, and it was like, damn. A series of 17 tornadoes way back when. But anyway, let's get back to this news, because if the house starts shaking, man, you'll have some. You'll have something to talk about. Okay. I think the first kind of storm has hit past us. But anyway, Tucker Carlson alleges that the CIA monitoring his private text messages as part of an effort to frame him for a crime and trigger a criminal referral from the Department of Justice, is essentially saying that Tucker Carlson is an agent, of a foreign government, because he interviews Iran or whatever, because he's needed to register under the FARA Act. Okay. I don't trust the CIA or the U.S. government, and, I only half-assed trust Tucker Carlson. So, are they going to try to hook him up and frame him if they can? Yeah, absolutely they will. There's no doubt that they will. There's no doubt that the CIA is trying using counterintelligence political ops here in the United States of America. They've been pushing them for decades and decades now. Okay, yeah, since I was gonna say, since the time TV was born, it was turned into a propaganda outlet. Now they have the internets. I mean, Jesus, fuck. If people don't understand by now that the social media is brainwashing fucking people into all kinds of different fucked up stuff, okay? And you have government even now admitting that the brainwashing from social media is screwing with kids, younger kids, under the age of 16 or whatever, okay? Minors. Yeah. Crazy, isn't it? So, what I would say is understanding that all this stuff is about counterintelligence, political operations, and censorship, and to highlight things and to make things that are toxic. I mean, God, people like Tucker Carlson and all these other people, they're getting raked across the coals, because they question Israel and its motives. You should question Israel and its motives. You should question Judaism and their motives. You should question Muslims and their motives. All right? I mean, that's just truth that nobody wants to say. All right? But the CIA, if the CIA knew that Tucker Carlson was talking to Iranians, then President Trump would have also known that when he invited Tucker into the Oval Office a few days before the strike, Will Chamberlain says. It means that Trump may have used Tucker to deceive the Iranians about the likelihood of an impending attack. Well, what would you expect, okay? Remember, Joe Biden. The 4 years of Joe Biden should be known as the age, the time the CIA owned and operated the fucking president. Actually, I believe that they've owned and operated the president since Lyndon Baines Johnson. May he burn in fucking hell. Since he colluded with the deep state to kill Kennedy. And that includes Israel. Was in that pile of shit. Okay? Now, Laura Loomer, I guess, is loving it. I mean, Laura Loomer is just a fucking Israeli political hack. Okay? Understand that, all right? She is part of the fucking synagogue of Satan. That's what I believe, okay? There's a lot of people that want to find the truth, and there's a lot of people that are bought and sold, and they produce and they talk in talking points. And this is essentially what Laura Loomer has done since she's been trying to, God, she's just a news slut, okay? That's how, she's a slimy, grimy news slut. That's what my personal opinion about Laura Loomer is, okay? I'm sorry. She, if it's not a lever of power, she's not trying to suck up to it, okay? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. She puts herself out there and I don't know. I guess she thinks that she's going to be, like Marilyn Monroe to Donald Trump, being this Trump groupie. I mean, it's fucking hilarious to me, okay? But we have to understand that the truth is that the CIA used President Joe or Vice President Joe Biden as an operative in the Burisma operations. We know he used his son, okay? The truth is, all these motherfuckers that are up here, that have, the ones that have access, I guess, to the real, to the people that have the real talking points that are coming down, okay? I just, I just don't think, I don't know if they're genuine, okay? I don't know where the show, the Truman Show kind of a thing, and where the reality and the truth start with a lot of major news figures, okay? Because they have so inserted themselves into the fucking news. And then when you're no longer a news reporter if your name is in the story, okay? I guess that's partly how I look at it, all right? But anyway, it's crazy. That's what I would say. Come on, cats. Where are we at now? Let's see. Supply, energy sector. Anyway, people are worried about energy security now that the Hormuz Strait is, well, locked and blocked and clocked, okay? And but in the U.S. and across Europe, the shortage of truck drivers, okay? Big rig drivers, all right? You know, they say there's a shortage of 444,000. You know, almost 500,000 truck drivers, a shortage of them. I just don't believe that shit, okay? I really don't believe it. And the other part of that is, when New York State, fucking a bunch of murderous motherfuckers, okay? When New York State gives a license to some person, to drive tractor trailer across state lines into other states, and they literally have no name given, where it's supposed to be the person's first and middle and last names or whatever. They shouldn't even be allowed to govern if they are that fucking retarded, okay? I'm just saying. It's unbelievable, all right? So across the United States, logistics and transportation is bottlenecked, I guess is what they're trying to say, all right? But remember, it's only bottlenecked because everything is coming in through a port, and then it has to be shipped somewhere. Everything is coming in on a cargo plane, and it has to be then moved somewhere else. Rather than it be made here in the United States, and they actually have warehouses. See, the other part of this story that they're not telling you, okay, is this on-time delivery warehousing systems that they use today. That there is such an organized dance of tractor trailers and logistics moving across the United States that we don't have. We have some places, we have some warehouses, okay? We have some big warehouses. But not like we should, and not like we used to. If we had the big, massive warehouses that we had in the day, because shipping and logistics was so different than drop shipping and everything else, literally, Walmart essentially drop ships everything to itself. It does have warehouses, but it moves things in and out of those warehouses so fast, dust doesn't even have time to gather. So, of course, you're going to need multiple times number of drivers. If you actually use the trucks that are moving from one place to another as the warehouse. And that's the kind of businesses that we have today, okay? This is how a lot of big business works. I never realized it, but it's just so inefficient, and it's just so they don't get caught. They don't hold on to supply. They don't have the amount of spoilage. They don't have shit sitting in warehouses with rats crapping all over it. Excuse me. So, yeah. So, get ready. Because, the supply chain is, well, it's cracking. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay. The energy prices are spiked, have spiked. The price of airline seats has doubled since Trump went to war with an uncertainty of what is actually going on. Okay, I guess is what I would say. Um, France and Italy have open talks with Iran about opening up the Hormuz Strait for them only. But they were told because they were attached to the U.S. and NATO that they could not. This is after it was said that India was allowed. What else we got going on here? Bump, ba-dum, bump. Man, let me slide down through here a little bit and see what we got. Martin Armstrong over at USAWatchdog.com talking with Greg Hunter said, oil prices could go to 200. They could test $200. Now remember, that's exponentially bigger than, because of our deflated dollars. The price of the value of the dollar back in the 1970s when we had the oil crisis to today. Actually, oil adjusted inflation wise is looking pretty gnarly right now, in all honesty. But nobody looks back. Everybody looks forward. So yeah. The U.S. has begun an 86 million barrel dump from the strategic petroleum reserves. Trump has allowed 140 million barrels in total to be pulled out of the strategic petroleum reserve, and that these 86 million barrels is the first tranche, I guess, of more to come. Okay. The United Arab Emirates Fujairah port is in flames, and Iran vows to escalate after the U.S. has hit Kharj Island in Iran. Okay. Financial towers and all these other places are, yeah. Now, one of the most pitiful, fucked up things that you want to see almost makes me, want to just fly over there and open up the shelter. All these influencers that have pets, okay? All these fucking chicken shit motherfuckers that move to the Middle East to live high on the hog of luxury and access to the billions and the zones and whatever, right? You know what they're doing? They're abandoning their pets at the airport en masse. They showed one picture, I guess it was 20 fucking pet cages right there, waiting, as people were going to board the fucking airplane. They just left their pets. Man, hey, easy, baby. That's some fucked up shit. That's what I said. It's some fucked up shit. All right. Anyway, the AI boom is creating a global memory chip shortage. So just be aware that these are some of the things that have been predicted by people who have allegedly come from the future. I watched a movie last week sometime about 10 things that allegedly were said by people from the future. And, one of them was, that there's going to be a lot of, how should I say it? There's going to be a lot of chip shortages from AI, and then, of course, from the retake Taiwan by China. whatever war that translates into, okay? I'm just saying. The Trump administration is set to receive $10 billion fee from the U.S. TikTok deal. That's just stupid. Okay? I'm just saying that's just fucking stupid. All right? The reason I say that is TikTok is a brainwashing mind control system on top of the CIA's brainwashing mind control systems, and the dumbing down of people into gelatin vegetables of fucking digital bullshit is well underway in the world. There will be people who know nothing, and they have to actually ask AI or their computer or something about just basic facts of life, okay? And depending on the AI, I mean, let's be honest. Oops, I am so sorry, doggy. I am so sorry. I didn't mean to kick you there, baby. Move my feet around a lot when I'm talking, and sometimes I bump up against a dog. Ah, man. So yeah, TikTok, brainwashing. Good God, man. Haven't people figured it the fuck out yet? I don't know why. Yeah. One of the things that, one of the other targets that are coming in range are desalination plants and pipelines. Now, desalination plants in Bahrain and Iran are being blown up, adding to the worst water shortages in Iran in decades. Now, the U.S. in the meantime is trying to use the art of war, or maybe the art of starvation and desperation, to cause a change in the Cuban government. Wouldn't surprise me if we have already sent in all kinds of operatives into Cuba, in all honesty, to destabilize, to run false flags. They were burning a Communist Party headquarters in Cuba the other day. But, there are people within the U.S. government that believe starvation of children. And actually, Israeli policy is to wipe out children, because then they wipe out the adult Palestinians and the adult Muslims. And, you really have to hand it to Israel. They, as a bunch of murdering scumbag bastards, that tag, that genocide label is never hung around their fucking neck. And it's a sad, sad state of affairs, okay? It really is. The shit that we have going on, and the way the world has been co-opted by this victimhood of Jewish society, and of course of the Red Shield. I mean, it's a sad state of affairs. That's what I'll say, okay? So anyway, Martin Armstrong says, this could bring out the nukes. And I'm like, if Iran hasn't brought out nukes, they don't have them, okay? If they haven't used them by now, they don't have them, all right? That's what I would say, all right? And that is the balkanization, literally this continuation and the spread of greater Israel, of the greater Israel model, the balkanization of Jews in the Middle East, of Islam in the Middle East by Jews, and have Muslims exported to the Western world to destroy them. You know, there's serious pushback happening now. Okay, I'm just saying. There is finally people are standing up to Islam within the British government. Now, what this has done is this has started the inner struggle for the British government to either be for real British law, British morality, and British freedom, or they will literally roll over to become a Sharia state. I don't believe that Islam can win if the British people stand together. But I will say there will be blood. There will be lots of blood. And when the blood starts to flow in one area of Europe because of Islamic retards, because of Islam essentially becoming, how should I say it, becoming the tyranny of the land, instead of the British government terrorizing the land. British law is certainly better than Sharia law, okay? And somewhere along the line, there will start. The thing is, once the violence starts, and people say, that's it, God bless it, no more. And then start and force the deportation of individuals. That won't happen in the UK. That won't happen across Europe. Because the court system will not allow it. The court system in the UK and across Europe will not even deport rapists. Okay? People who, Islamic individuals, who have raped because of their religion says it's okay. The governments won't even. The German government has a person like that. I'm sure France has one or two. I know there's a couple in the UK where literally they are rapist, terrorist, scumbag pieces of shit. And the judicial system says, well, I know they came here and they traveled here illegally, but you can't send them back because it's too dangerous for them back there. Fuck, it's too dangerous for people here, with them here. But you can never convince a systemic failed society like the Fabian socialism that is going on, the Fabianism that is going on in the UK. You could never, ever convince any of them motherfucking people that when they let in people wholesale, beyond the numbers that had an ability to integrate into British society, or German society, or Italian society, or French society. Take your pick. There are no safe places anymore. German women are generally afraid to go out. Definitely not go by themselves unless they have to. And I can understand that. And I believe everyone should be like Dirty Harry. I think everyone should carry a fucking 44 Magnum and blow holes in people that fucking try to rape them and molest them. And then it will only be then. It will only be then that motherfuckers that have that behavior will stop that behavior. Okay? That's all I'm trying to say. As long as that behavior goes lightly punished, yeah, there is none. Okay? There is no justice. What else we got going on here? Another tech titan flees California for Texas. Oops. Say goodbye to the tax base. Yeah, it's crazy. Washington State has also now seen a exodus of billionaires and millionaires out of Washington State, as Washington State has passed their first state income tax. Yeah. Yep, here's a story. I was just talking about this bullshit. A Berlin youth center hid a girl's gang rape by Islamist illegal motherfuckers, okay? Everybody wants to say the usual suspects, and they may even use the word ISIS, like they do here in the United States. But let's be honest, it's fucking Muslims, okay? A Turkish Kurdish schoolgirl is said to have been groped by 9 boys of Arab descent in the back room. Yeah. It then came out that she had been raped in November in the youth center garden. Yeah. But everybody is a bunch of chicken shit motherfuckers to say what it is. It's fucking cultural rape by ignorant Muslims, okay? Let's just say it. They're Muslims, okay? They believe that they, like Jews, they have the fucking inherent superiority that you're nothing but fucking dirt and shit and snot under their feet, okay? I believe that Goy lives matter. I believe that infidel lives matter. And I believe that fucking social Marxist motherfuckers, the big lying Marxists, can go pound fucking sand. They're a bunch of motherfucking racists and cultural bigots against everybody else on this planet. Yeah, there's been some scientific admissions, okay, about Antarctica. Yeah. Now listen. If anything, they're just fueling the fucking fire about Antarctica, okay? Now, the U.S. government has come out and said, and they have admitted that there is that the most powerful gravity well is in Antarctica. And it's just a place where they say there's strong gravity, okay? And that this has caused a lot of a lot of conspiracy talk and blah, 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 blah. And, literally just saying, oh, yeah, well, it's just extra gravity there. It's like it's like they are intentionally fucking with people's brains to feed them these little bitsy pieces of information, and then people will take it and plug it into the inner and outer Earth model, the flat Earth model, the dozen different Earth variations that we have out here. Okay, not just the fact that the other gravity well is in the middle of the Indian Ocean. And what that tells me, that's remember those, that's where the new North Pole is supposed to be when the Earth flips over, is in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Okay. Is that North or South Pole? I'll be honest with you, I'm not even sure anymore. But all I'm trying to say is that is that this idea of a gravity well, it would be just 100% in our natural world. It would be absolutely correct. It would just be a normalization. So yeah. So they say there's a gravity hole underneath Antarctica. Yeah, aren't they crazy? And they say oh my God, is they say there's a giant hole under the Antarctica. Experts are insisting there really isn't anything particularly special about it. Listen, if you have a magnetic field, right? It goes like this, right? I mean, you move two magnets together, right? Or have a magnet and then sprinkle particles and look at both ends. I mean, there's going to be a place where there's going to be the strongest magnetic pull. Same with Earth. Same with this semi-molten core thing we have going on. Okay? So, yeah. What I would say is be aware. And don't try to blow it all out to something of, biblical proportions. It's just another natural phenomena that really tells us, yeah, look, it's we live in a magnetic world. That's why I say, we are beings of light in a plasma. We see ourselves in a bioplasma form of what we look like here. God, I couldn't have been born prettier. Oh well, such is life. Well, anyway, what else we got going on here? Yeah, Catherine Austin Fitz calls it entirely demonic. That's right. She's warning, of course, about a central bank, a digital currency. Now, if you're paying attention, which if you watch this show, you're paying some attention, I guess I should say, to what is going on in the undercurrents of this politicized world that we live in. Now, just last week, the Treasury and the banks changed their rules to include what? To include digital currency, and that they have the right to literally to move you over from the central bank currency that we have today, the rented reserve dollars, to a digital currency. The banks have essentially, most of the major banks have rewritten their banking rules already and have included the mandatory, what would you call that, bail-in, not a bailout, but a bail-in by the banks, but bail-in of your money into the stable coin digital system. This has already been passed into law. This has already been put into action. You have not seen it rolled out into the sphere of the general public, but only within investment banking and dumping of bad assets, really, by the central bankers. That's where I've seen it. That's where I've seen the fucking government and everybody else doing all kinds of fucking shit. Here, check this out. Oh, no.
Neurologists are stunned.
Oh, you bum.
They've confirmed that ear ringing is shrinking your brain.
I'm Greg Hunter. Welcome to USA Watchdog. My next guest is going to take us to school on the economy and all the fallout that's probably happening, that is happening now, and will
not labor, it's energy. So this affects every business, every person, every consumer. We've watched since the war started the price of gas go up. I just saw one report saying that the UK has a gas supply for 2 days. Thailand has just shut down or limited car use so that people don't burn up as much gas. You could literally see transportation lockdowns if this continues.
Wow.
One of the things you were been talking about for the last couple of years, you talked about it as
digital
you
currency.
used to have enough to bribe the guards at the border. And then that went into, of course, you are an investment expert, and you did this
for position. But it's very attractive now as an investment position as well, particularly the miners. Because if the world's going to demand more and more gold and silver, somebody's going to...
Well, anyway, they're talking about gold and silver and everything else, okay? But, yeah, if you want some good information, go over there and see Greg Hunter, USA Watchdog. You know, he does... he's definitely conservative, okay? And he used to work for the big banks, or the big media, I should say, who work for the big banks, right? Let's see. Of course, SmackDown. We're almost to the break, but Judge Emmett Boesberg once again smacks down Donald Trump. And as he squashed the subpoenas for the Central Reserve Bank Fed Chair, Jerome Powell. As Jerome Powell, they spent $1.2 billion on so-called renovations. Renovations? Really? Remodeling? $1.2 billion on remodeling. I mean, what did you do? Just pave everything in fucking gold? Anyway, I better check because we're almost in the break over here on Rev Radio. But think about it. Exorbitant amount of money to do a remodeling at the Federal Reserve Bank, at their so-called offices. $1.2 billion for remodeling. Then that's some suspicious shit coming from bankers, okay? Or I would prefer to call them banksters, okay? Because they aren't banksters in the traditional sense. I don't believe anybody in the central banking system is within the realm of moral law, okay? Just because, central banking is such a complete fraud. Well, there we just hit break over here on Rev Radio. It'll be grinding on in here in a couple seconds. So we'll wrap up there for right now. We'll be back in a few minutes. Listen to these promotions for Revolution Radio. Whoa, the stream ended? Huh. Well, I think that's weird. I think the whatchamacallit? I think the I think it broke. Or it ended. I don't know what happened. It looked like it ended, in all honesty. The player, the brake player, Winamp is what I'm trying to think of. So, yeah. Look, let me go over here and ask. I ask if the Winamp player is down on B, and it may or may not be. I don't know, but yeah, it's okay. Sometimes I end up just talking straight through these things. I don't mean to. I just do. Yeah, I catch up the last 30 seconds. Isn't that great? Well, anyway, yeah, so Judge Boesberg. That's right, Jonathan Turley over at jonathanturley.org. Writes, Boesberg's Law Why the quashing of Powell subpoenas leaves more questions than answers. Listen, everybody who has been paying attention to the political, judicial, deep state war against Donald Trump knows very well who and what Chief Judge James Boasberg is when it comes to Donald Trump, okay? He is literally one of Donald Trump's biggest nemesis within the judicial system, okay? Anyway, he threw out the so-called subpoenas for the board of governors at the Federal Reserve System versus U.S., okay? So yeah, as I said a few minutes ago. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's crazy, man. That's what I'll say. That a grand jury can't put together subpoenas and send them out. Now, Judge Boasberg went on and on and on about Donald Trump said this and Donald Trump said that and Donald Trump said, about pressuring the Federal Reserve Bank to become, to do what Trump wants, and that's lower rates, okay? Now, it's pretty amazing that we, our system is looking so bad right now, in all honesty. It's looking pretty nasty. We are looking at, here comes the next piece of the storm. We're looking at all of these judicial rulings that literally, hundreds of them going against Trump, or literally these between the judges and the activists, hundreds of cases being pushed against the Trump presidency. And this is part of the political war that Democrats have in America. Okay, they have literally racked and packed not just illegal immigrants into this country, but Republicans have worked as willing participants in putting as many Democrat federal judges in the fucking office as they could. Literally kissing Chuck Schumer's ass and running them through the ringer like it's no big deal. It's a really big deal, okay? When you look at how Republicans literally sit on their ass and kind of wait for Democrats to give them something in Congress. They really do. They just sit and they wait for Democrats to give them a goodie of some kind. So yeah, it's crazy. Republicans, Democrats take it, and Republicans wait for permission. And it's the dumbest and the most retarded political system that you see going on around here right now. Okay? Another Obama appointed judge temporarily blocks Homeland Security from what? From ending protected status for Somali immigrants. Okay? Saying that some are maybe exposed to, whatever when they get back to the shithole that they fucking climbed out of, okay? Listen, everybody, if we use that as a standard, then we will never be able to send anybody anywhere. Just as the British, just as the French, and just as the Germans the political system and the judicial system essentially saying, you must allow the rapist motherfuckers to stay in your country and continue to rape. Somewhere along the line, people are going to just start snapping. And it won't be just one or two or three or four. You'll see a half a dozen cases across the United States coming, where the judges have let motherfuckers out of prison. They have let rapists out. They have let murderers out. They have let these illegal immigrant killers run free across our nation. And people will say that enough is enough. We know the American people are well capable of it. Old Dominion University said that the shooter there that murdered one and shot two others was killed. If you want to call it hand-to-hand combat, you can. But evidently a guy had a pocket knife, or a knife, and he took it to him. That's what real heroism looks like. Charging into battle to save others. So yeah. What else we got going on here? Trump not ready for an Iran deal. Urges U.S. citizens to flee Iraq. Israel reportedly critically low on interceptor missiles and blah, blah, blah. So everybody knows that, these defensive weapons are finite. That there is a bottom to the barrel. And once you take out the bottom of the barrel, or once you get to the bottom of the barrel, you can't defend yourself. What is actually going to continue to happen in the Middle East? Nobody knows for sure. I mean, if they already knew, they would have already wrapped it up. They would have already skipped over these intermediate steps and went right to their solution. But I don't believe there is a solution, okay? Allies laugh at Trump as he pushes joint military action to reopen the Hormuz Strait. Iran says no to the ceasefire that is quote-unquote on the table. A U.S. takeover of Harj Island would require boots on the ground. I mean, you would literally put the troops within artillery range, easy artillery range from the shore. I just think it's stupid. But I don't think that the U.S. is going to take over Harj Island. Now these educated idiots and the warmongering idiots, okay, they might do something like that just so they can get Iran to focus on Harj Island and not so much the whole strait, okay? But it's my belief that the Marine Expeditionary Force is going to provide security in Iraq, okay, for the embassy and for the big base and all this other shit that we have there. And I don't think it's going to be too long before the U.S. is forced to withdraw from Iraq, okay, and other parts of the Middle East, okay? Starmer vows the UK won't be drawn into a wider war in the Middle East. The Hormuz Strait, not a simple task. UK PM stresses any security coalition will not be a NATO-led mission. Listen, NATO's pretty much busted, okay? It's broke. It's pretty fucked, is what I would say. Okay? That's the only way to get down to it. All right? What else we got going on here where that people know, but they don't know? Okay? Let's see. Echoes of the Iraq War. The mainstream media, the deja vu, over the framing of the war on Iran. Nothing has changed. I mean, let's be honest about it. The propaganda, the same lies, the same innuendo, the same stuff works on the same people, getting essentially the same cooperation for the, for the deep state. So yeah. What else we got going on here? Slow progress. The large reactor monopoly. That's right. Westinghouse. The Trump administration in talk with Westinghouse rivals. Remember, the nuclear power industry is essentially just another monopoly run by big business. Okay? Big contractors, big nuclear, how would you want to say, nuclear power plant operators and reactor builders and everything else. As I have said before, I think the science is with nuclear power, but it takes man to run, a nuclear reactor. And I'm sorry, we're semi-educated monkeys grappling with splitting atoms. I mean, let's be honest. We still got half this fucking planet that uses their hand to wipe their ass. All right, let's not bullshit around about the advancement and the marvel of modern man. Half this fucking planet still uses its hand to fucking wipe its shit from its ace hole. I think we have a lot of progress to be made on the middle and lower end of what an intelligent human being is. But too many people caught in cultural hell, and no chance to literally extricate themselves from that. A fool's errand. That's what I call it. Democrat-run cities full of chaos. Chicago's transit system is facing a reality check because of, violence. An ultimatum issued by the Trump administration has pushed the Chicago Transit Authority to unveil a beefed-up security plan, threatening to yank, the Fed said, look, you're just flushing our money down the toilet, not doing jack shit to make the subway safe for people to use. The move comes after a string of brutal attacks exposed the failures of the soft-on-crime policies. It's so much worse than soft-on-crime policies, okay? Does anybody really believe that it's just soft-on-crime? Does anybody believe that, that all of these motherfuckers that are getting away with all of this stuff, that they're only getting away with it because of soft-on-crime policies? No. There's a dozen different reasons. And it's not soft on crime. They're retarded. They're mentally ill. They're fucked up in the head. Individuals that are psychopathic and way out there. Okay? They just roam the fucking streets like nothing. And they're a danger to every person out there. Add on top of that, add the add the stand culture. I know that's a fucked up way to say it, but add the stand culture, okay? And, if you're confused when I say the stand culture, okay? I mean, and the gang culture, the hood culture, okay? In little Afghanistan, or little Nigeria, or take your fucking pick, okay? You will not be able to turn this curve because it is the symptoms of the crimes are not because you have gone soft on them. It is because the entire culture of Chicago, there's more bad motherfuckers out there teaching their kids to do retarded shit, or standing there watching their kids do retarded shit and laughing, than there are good parents and role models in Chicago. You can only be as safe in America as are the civilized motherfuckers that are around you. Okay? I watched a video clip the other day of some dumb fucking Uber driver delivered a meal to some place where there was a massive party. Well, let's just say, it was in the hood. They beat this fucking guy half to death and stole his car. Okay? You can't throw 75% of the people in fucking jail. Just because they're a fucking a collective mob and a clusterfuck of hell. You can't do it. Because there's not enough room. But here is the thing that I want people to understand. We're talking about the entire culture. We're talking about gangland instead of the Amish farmers. Just as the Amish are groomed into a certain style of living and a lifestyle, blah, 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 so are gangbangers and ganglanders in Gangistan, okay? So you can throw all the federal money, you can do all the fucking shit, and I'll tell you right now, it will not matter what liberal shithole you do this to. You will not be able to fix the city until you fix the culture and the people that live there. I'm just speaking blunt truth. Nobody likes it. It's fucked up, but shit happens. But we have to understand the real parts, the real problems. It is the culture of the individuals living in the city, the silent majority of people. Okay, I guess is what I would say. And in some places, the silent majority of the people are just gangbangers. I'm just trying to point that out. It will not make Chicago safer. all of this stuff, okay? Until you fix the culture of retarded within the societies that live in these cities. And yes, they're black, okay? And they've been lied to by Democrats. Poor black people. God bless you guys, man. You've been so brainwashed by Democrats who were once your slave masters that you actually think today that Democrats are here to help black people. They're not. They've never been here to black people. They've been here to enslave everybody. It's only been within the last 120 years that listen to this, that the Democrat Party has decided to enslave everybody instead of just blacks. So, if you're a Democrat, you're a Jim Crow Democrat. If you're a Democrat, that's what you are. You're a Jim Crow Democrat. And you still are today. It's just you have flipped your racism inside out. You have turned it in different directions. And therefore in that thing you believe that you have found your soul in the Democrat Party. A soul still of hate and discrimination and slavery. It's a sad state of affairs, man. Really is. 3 million Iranians forcibly displaced under the U.S. and Israeli bombardment. And they're trying to cause a rush into, the Caucasus, into Armenia, Azerbaijan, into Georgia, into Russia. And they're just, leave it to the U.S. and, the New World Order to literally try to create, another genocide on top of the Jewish genocide in the Gaza Strip. Okay? So, yeah. It's crazy. Crazy stuff, man. What else we got going on here? California startup is drilling the world's first underground nuclear borehole. That's right. They want to bore down. I mean, isn't California some kind of seismic zone? You'll have to pardon my geology, but there's some San Andreas fault, right? I mean, listen. I mean, how much a fucking smart, stupid monkeys are you people? We're going to drill our borehole right on seismic ground. All right. Hey, why does that sound like something that the retards in California would do? I mean, seriously, okay? A new era begins as the U.S. has raised its flag at its embassy for the first time in, quite a while. The U.S. Embassy in Caracas announced on X early Sunday morning that the U.S. flag was raised for the first time in 7 years. On the morning of March 14, 2019, the American flag was lowered for the last time at the U.S. Embassy in Caracas, and now March 14th, 2026, at the same hour. My team raised the United States flag exactly 7 years after it was removed. Listen, I just, this American wag the dog, new industrial era is a joke, okay? It's just more colonialism in a modern day zone, and it will not, I don't believe it will end well, and financially and economically for the world. It sets us up on a path of having this, we have it now. We have a segregated and a caste society worldwide, okay? Oh, man, sorry, I'm kind of getting something going on. Might have to. Hopefully, I have to run to the bathroom. That'd be bad. So yeah. Anyway, wow, am I running out of news? Really? Well, let's see. Here's some stuff. Here's a clip. I haven't played many clips this morning, and here's the naked truth. People don't like to hear the naked truth about stuff because then they have to question: Is this right? Is this wrong? Is this whatever?
For Israel, something that you said you weren't going to do after saying you're going to hold people accountable and drain the swamp with 0 high-level arrests. And then right in the middle of this conflict, this is what you decide to put out. Not going after any of the deep state, but going after true American first patriots who just want justice with all of the Epstein stuff. This is what you spend your time doing. And here's what Massey said that Trump did when he was on the floor trying to get justice for the Epstein victims.
The president got mad at me. You've heard me say this before. He called me on the phone 3 times while I was on the floor of the House. I let it go to voicemail 3 times. I didn't have him in my phone. Technically, I didn't know it was him. But it was all zeros, right. And I figured there's only one person can get a phone number with all zeros. So I did call the White House back, and they put Trump on the line, and he said, "I'm coming at you like you've never seen. Never in your life before have you seen the way in which I will come at you. I'm more popular than you in Kentucky, and you know it. I'm backing your primary opponent, and you're gonna lose." And then I tried to talk to him about the Constitution and that it required us to vote. And he started screaming at me for 3 minutes. And then he repeated everything again and, hung up on me.
So my question to you is this. If you had to choose one of these 2 guys in politics, who would it be and why? Would love your comment.
Well, of course, we're going to support
Imagine
Massey.
Starting another fake
We're gonna support Massey over Trump. Okay, I mean, let's be honest. Donald Trump is being blackmailed. Okay, that's the only way. That's the only way that I can say it. Okay, is that Donald Trump and the United States government is essentially, being blackmailed. Now, here we go. Here's Joey Manarino, okay, put a post up on TikTok, and of course, everybody is screaming and hollering about, America. And, well, here's what he had to say.
I am in Spain, a country that you invaded for 700 years. Actually, many more than 700 years. It took 700 years to get rid of you motherfuckers. And guess what? They got rid of you. Which means all of you that are invading Europe right now, trust and believe, I know it looks like you're winning right now, but Europe will get rid of you too. You will not win. You will not take away the culture of Europe. You will not take Italy from the Italians. You will not take Spain from the Spanish. You will not take France from the French. You will go home. You will go to your 55 countries where you can commit all the crimes against humanity that you commit. You can continue your fucked up female genital mutilation. You can continue your child marriages. You can continue all the shit that you do, the most subhuman, disgusting things that you do. But you won't take Europe. You won't take Canada. You won't take the UK. You won't take America. No, you won't do it. I know you think you will, but the people are stronger than you. We will never give our countries to you. You want to take away our dogs, okay? You want to take away our dogs. You say the dogs are impure. Meanwhile, you literally are the filthiest humans on earth. You don't even use toilet paper. It's
okay.
Kufar, or whatever the word, haram. You don't usually use those little sprays. What do you do when the sprays aren't there? What do you do when those little hoses aren't there? Muzzies, what do you do? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't care what you do. I have nothing against the Muslims. Nothing. You can do whatever you want in your 55 Muslim countries. You can't do it in my country. So I wish you
there we
the
go.
best. I wish you a long and prosperous life worship.
So people are finally, you know, kind of standing up and saying, hell no. You know, look, enough is enough is enough is enough, okay? Now they're claiming that 29% of Americans have finally figured out the problem. And that, you know, it's the actual real problem in the United States is government. Okay, I mean, a Gallup poll found 29% of Americans now say government itself is the biggest problem in the United States of America, okay? That's a higher percentage than people who think the biggest problem is the economy or immigration or inflation. Think about that for a minute. People are waking up so fast. And this is another reason why these motherfuckers on the left and left and left and the right and the right and the right all in the same box. This monopoly is trying to lock it all down. That's why they were trying to gerrymander the entire U.S. and to steal America and to destroy the freedoms that we have. Okay? So yeah. Anyway, so be aware, I guess is what I would say. Okay, is be very aware. Florida passes a voter ID bill modeled after the SAVE Act. Elections integrity will go into effect next year and require Floridians to show photo ID at the polls and proof of citizenship when registering. Okay? Of course. That's is expected, I would think, but in 20-some states there literally is no you can walk in and claim to be whatever you want. And we know that that their voter rolls are managed to create tens of thousands of ballots to go out to people that are already dead, that have moved. You know, wouldn't surprise me. They send out 3 different ballots to 3 different addresses just to make sure the person will get it so they can vote. But then somehow they vote 3 times instead of once. I've often said, you know, that if we can put a serial number on every dollar bill, we certainly can put a serial number on every ballot in the United States, okay? And maybe we should have a federal ballot ID number. And maybe that is one thing that Congress might be able to pass that could help eliminate the number of counterfeit ballots, counterfeit mail-in ballots, and other ballots that we see, okay? Where are we at here? Oh, let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Alaska. Yeah, Alaskans carry the most lifetime credit card debt of all Americans. Of course, everybody says, well, it's just so expensive to live in Alaska. Alaska's so expensive. Yeah, it is. But remember, I would suspect that people in Alaska, a lot of times because of travel and a lot of stuff, they use the internet today. So they use more credit card, and they have rolling balances, I guess. But they're saying, Americans accumulate about 400,000 of credit card debt over their adult lifetimes. Wow, $400,000 at what, 20-some% interest usually? I'm just telling the ugly truth. Well, you gonna shoot the messenger? Well, why not? Everybody else does. Mohammed bin Salman, that's right, the butcher in Saudi Arabia, urges the U.S. to keep bombing. That's right, bomb those Shia bastards into hell. Pretty much what he said. Don demands death penalty for reporters. I guess he's considered in unranged hint, rant. Let's see, a 400-word truth social post slamming Iran for feeding the very appreciative fake news media and even resorting to AI to spread false information. The president claimed that Iran had circulated phony kamikaze boats shooting at various ships at sea, claimed that they look wonderful and powerful and vicious, and Trump says that the boats don't exist. Really? Tell that to the Ukrainians. There was a fake image of the USS Abraham Lincoln, when it was actually a picture of the USS Forrestal after an accident in Vietnam. Okay? But the problem is, the media has been lying about Trump in the same style, in the same fashion. And Donald Trump, I don't know why, but he's so enthralled. He's so become part of this of the ally Israel, okay? That he is essentially, basically CIA Mossad spy, okay? Let's not lie to ourselves, all right? Donald Trump has bought in, he went all in, okay? The new Ayatollah is on life support. Iran vows to kill Netanyahu. Of course, all the rumors of Bibi Netanyahu being, let's just say, meeting Satan was false, of course. It was just more propaganda. However, there are more places that are burning statues to Baal. Now, are they burning statues of Baal, or are they burning statues to Baal? Okay. Now, I think there should be and there must be a distinction there. Okay. Because let's be honest, when these fuckers go to Bohemian Grove, and all these satanic rich fucks throw they do the Jewish chicken shit stuff, okay? Except it's the communion of care, or the ceremony of care, where they take all of the things they care about and they throw them on the sacrifice fire for a Baal, or for Moloch, I guess it is, for Bohemian Grove. Okay, just another name for another satanic fuck thing. But so it's a question that needs to be answered, because we have to ask if we're looking at how should I say it? If we're looking at a burning for or a burning to worship, Or are we looking at, this takedown of a deity? Hey, as far as I'm concerned, you could shoot him full of cross arrows, arrows with crosses on them, and maybe some garlic and some holy water or something, right? We could even get some radioactive water from Chernobyl. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. I'm just saying. It's crazy. Okay? High car payments make ownership feel impossible. That's right. Just as they're trying to do everywhere else, they don't want you on the road. They want you living in a 15-minute city where you can walk from one end to the other of your lifetime and not have the real freedom to travel. Cars are, trucks are average. Average new pickup truck is $50,000 or so. The 7 to 8 years of $800 a month. Literally what somebody's house payment used to be. Or maybe a better description should be. Instead of the cost of their fucking, their conveyance, their car, their travel, operational mode. It's pretty crazy, okay? Peter Thiel lectures about the Antichrist in Rome. Was he saying I'm not? Was that in denial? Or was that in support? Because, I'm sorry, I think a lot of these motherfuckers, because the only way that they can rise to these levels of popularity and these levels of demonic control over so many people, you have to have the hand of Satan stuck up your skirt, I guess, and I guess that's why just a few people listen to me. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's all okay. It'll work out. It won't be that big of a deal, man. Oh yeah, my cars. I got a 2005, a 2003, and a 2002, I think. Oh, and no new cars here. Oh man, I am telling you. Crazy world we're stuck in here, man. It is an interesting time. Oh man, Trump rushes to defend Fox host Megyn Kelly. Really? Huh. According to the Daily Beast, anti-Trump rag. Okay, just understand that part. Donald Trump waded into, social media battlefield between outspoken right-wing firebrands, Megyn Kelly, and the president took time away from overseeing the war in the Middle East to pick a side in the battle between Megyn Kelly and Mark Levin. Yes, Mark Levin should move to fucking Tel Aviv where his heart lays, okay? That's all I'll say. And, and it's just a short distance from there. Or maybe he should just move to Hell, New Mexico, okay? Or someplace like that. Anyway, Levin and Kelly banged heads the other day, and one over their opposing stance to Trump's war in Iran, which led them to trade nasty barbs with Megyn Kelly dubbing Mark Levin as micro penis Mark. God, man, it must be pretty bad to have those old saggy breasts. I'm waiting for her to break them out to show us that we're wrong. Anyway, it's just more stupid on stupid. It's the media pretending to be important. And the truth is, the media is a psychological propaganda construct today. It doesn't matter, from the New York Times to CNN, from the CIA Reich wing to the CNN, communist wing of America. Okay. All owned and operated by the CIA. I mean, I wonder how many people watching these major news organizations, watch CNN, watch ABC, NBC, CBS, okay, watch fake Fox News. Not hardly any of them. Very few. Very few have an idea or will actually say or talk about the corrupted news. The psychological component that we live with today. We don't get news. We get talking points wrapped up in news articles that are supposed to stick in our brains. This is why, they put out this propaganda bullshit last week. Short-term pain for long-term gain. I mean, give me a fucking break, okay? Donald Trump is not putting America first. He's putting Israel first. This is and will always be Israel's war. And until Donald Trump literally becomes ungoyamied, that's not a word, but I just made it up, okay? Until Donald Trump, pulls his head out of fucking Bibi Netanyahu's ass, until, this bromance between Donald Trump and these fucking deep state clowns that have got Donald Trump blowing up, murdering, killing motherfuckers. It's as if Donald Trump is doing it for fun today, not for these political purposes. Okay, and that's just my idea. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, University of Florida disbands the college Republican chapter, citing anti-Semitism. That's right. In America, you can't say anything that will expose the Jewish mafia for what it is. For essentially being, listen, the truth is every Jew is a goy. They say that you're worthless, but the truth is, every Jew is a parasite. Every Jew is a goy. If we are to believe what they believe and within their religion. I'm just trying to push back against this idea. And for too many people in America are afraid to stand up and say no. They're afraid to stand up and say, no, I'm not racist. What's your fucking problem? Okay? To a black person. Why do you think I'm racist? Just because I'm white? Isn't that racism? I think it's bananas. The psychological constructs that entire communities have been brainwashed into today. And that's not what America and America freedom is about. We have to understand that the elite and the liberals in this country are, as I said before, they're creating a segregated society. Democrats are going back to segregation. The only question that they have today is who is on top and who is on the bottom. Not that we have fair and equal across the board. It is a sad state of affairs. That's what I'll say. Okay? Meanwhile, the FCC chair threatens broadcast licenses amid criticism of the Iran war coverage. The truth will come out. The truth will come out on American casualties. Right now they say 6 or 8 dead or whatever, and actually it's over a dozen now, right? Because you had at least 6 before that plane crash, okay? But I'm just trying to point out that there are a lot of news reports from other places around the world that claim that hundreds of American soldiers have died. Today we see, a dozen or less here in America, okay? And if our government knows this and it is essentially withholding that information and lying, that would be par for the course. That would be standard operating procedure for the United States government, whether Donald Trump is in charge or not in charge. And what that tells me is, as I have believed for a while, that Donald Trump has been so compromised because of the information that they're feeding Donald Trump. Donald Trump has one idea, one viewpoint that he has been getting, and it doesn't matter who you are. After a year of being bombarded, being surrounded, literally from top to bottom, from the major pushes to the little niche and small covert operation and pushes and stuff like that, everything is geared towards one thing. And it's not about protecting America. It's about protecting and pushing forward the new world order for the Rothschild bankers, okay? And if Donald Trump doesn't do anything about that, it's just, it's just clear that Donald Trump has essentially sold himself to the dark side. Whether he did this knowingly or unknowingly, those are other questions that could be, or that must be answered. So, yeah. Fears of cockroaches in the private credit market. Okay. Jamie Dimon, over at Goldman Sachs is that Goldman Sachs of shit? He calls the private credit market cockroaches running around trying to get nibble and feed on everything. Yeah, so he fears of cockroaches in the private credit market system. Yeah, the truth is that Wall Street bankers have grown increasingly concerned about the private credit market. Listen, it is largely opaque. It is lending to risky companies. The anxieties intensified as in September a couple companies went under. So Jamie Dimon over at JP Morgan Chase, and have essentially, said there's going to be some more. And he called these, he called these private bankers cockroaches, okay? Now remember, remember that we're talking about a Fed standard bearer, of the Rothschild banking family, JP Morgan. And so understand that these guys are part of the, how should we say, they're part of the major problem. Trump crosses Iran's red line by heavy bombing on that Karj island. What a joke! I mean, listen, if killing 3 of your leaders isn't a red line, that undeclared full-fledged war, then you're just fucking stupid. So stupid. It's not even funny. Okay? That's the truth that nobody wants to say. Now today they're looking at the line. The line when protesting becomes law breaking. And of course, protest observers becoming part of the protest and part of the law breaking and the participants, okay? Yeah, Renee Good, this is by Ben Weingarten via Real Clear Investigations. He says that when ICE shot and killed Renee Good, she allegedly obstructed immigration authorities and then disobeyed their commands, attempted to flee, actually turned and pointed her wheels at a cop and then, turned in and sped the other way when she hit him and got shot, and it's all fucked up, okay? But what we are seeing people are not observing, okay? These are not observers. These are activists who are attempting to interfere with ICE agents, okay? I believe we need more ICE. I believe that every illegal immigrant, if you choose, listen, here's the thing. You should pack up your stuff, all your monies, get yourself quite the arsenal of weapons, and go back to your home country. While you're coming here to the United States sucking us dry, you could be at home cleaning your nation up and making it great again. But most people won't do that, okay? I'm just saying. In a sign of, let's just say, not so good fucking news, buses in London now must carry a stab kit with collagen or coagulin, something to make the blood clot, okay? So there are so many stabbings in fucking London that, yeah. Imagine that. Isn't that fucking bananas? Isn't that crazies? They have stab kits on the buses. Well, in America, everybody carries Narcan. In fact, in some communities, they give out free Narcan for the dumb fucks that are trying to kill themselves with fentanyl and heroin and who the fuck knows what else. Crosses a line when cross a line, right? When you what's the best way to say it? When you cross the line from having a good time to let me kill myself with this dumb drug. Don't be dumb. Don't kill yourself. Hey, we'll be back tomorrow, 2 for Tuesday. Thanks, Rev Radio. God bless. Good day. And good luck. Yeah, the break's rolling over there on Rev Radio. So I know there's not a whole lot of time left on this show. But it is crazy. And people, I don't know if people are waking up. I do know that the internet is a major problem for the mind controllers. Okay? So because you get exposed to different stuff on the internet, it ruins their brainwashing. It just throws this fucking monkey wrench in there, and it's like, yay! Yay, nobody's as brainwashed as they could have been. They walk around like fucking zombies. And be honest, they are zombies, a lot of them. But they can learn, they can get educated, they can, cycle their brain through there. So thanks, everybody. And don't forget tomorrow, we have a morning show, and then the Trump assassination files. God bless, good day, and good luck.